Wow, water's up today. Look how calm it is. There's like no wind. See that? There's no wind.
You're ready to go up?
I was born ready.
You're right, dude.
Looks like you're born ready. Hey, look, there's that racing boat right here. Check it out. It's got a number on it. That means it's a racing boat. Man, it's like really calm today. Okay. There you go.
Heavy.
Yep.
Oh,
Heavy.
wow.
Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together
we make DIY Nautical Dream. Hello from Paris, France.
Eiffel Tower.
Yep, we're a little far away from the boat right now, but we are going to get back to more videos. So check out this next episode. We'll be back at the boat. See ya.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together
we make DIY Nautical Dream.
So, let's go straight to our project.
All right. What do we got up this week, baby?
We're going to be trimming fiberglass around the cutouts.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be a itchy, fun mess.
And then we're going to locate and install new lens retainer.
Oh, the wood retainer frames?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we're going to epoxy those into place and yep, just like we did on the other side over there. So yeah, that'll be a fun locating mess.
And we're going to be test fitting new large teak panel.
Yep, that'll be the big one. Hopefully it works. We had some trouble with that. So.
And of course.
Oh yeah.
More white paint, which is, I think I'm going to do that part.
Yeah.
Easy. No.
All right. Yeah, so that's, we got quite a busy schedule going on for this time, but we'll get there. So we'll check back in a little bit and let you guys know how far we get.
Yep.
All right.
Stay tuned, guys.
We'll see ya.
Hey, guys. Did you miss us? Well, maybe not. We missed the boat. We were gone for a little while. We went to Paris, France. That's one of our bucket lists. And we did it finally.
So the first plan today is to get this installed. This is what we call the scrap wood, but this is actually the teak panel retainer, and it's also the piece that the overhead vinyl staples onto. But yeah, we'll go ahead and work on getting that installed in place, and then that's one less thing we have to worry about putting back together. So plus we have to make sure all these little holes line up, and we'll get the new screws in there. So that's what we'll get started on.
So what are you doing now, honey?
Trying to get these holes to line up in this thing here is what the this is what the vinyl is going to attach to, so I just try to get these holes to line up the best I can. This one right here, right? Yep. Alright. Seems like it went. It's hard to tell, I can't really see what's going on, but we'll grab that one next. But yeah, once we get this into place, then we can start attaching the vinyl back to here. And well, not yet, but it's one of the steps we need to do to get the vinyl back into place. So I always use this first just to make sure that the hole is lined up, which it is, so we'll go for it. There we go. Okay, and then that one there is going to be a tough one. Let's just hope the hole lines up, and that'd be a step in the right direction on that. Okay, so the hole lines up. We'll go ahead and try and run one in there. Okay. I gotta be careful because when the screws are going into the fiberglass, they'll break off, and they usually break off flush with the wood, and then I can't get them out. I have to dig a hole in the wood and get pliers on them, and
It's not good.
no, it just takes all the fun out of it. Okay, there it goes. It pulled up close to the right up to the fiberglass, so that's good. All right, see, we got one lined up, and it'll be kind of hanging out. Okay, we're in. Okay.
That's easy.
That one was easy. Okay, we'll grab that one next. Got that one. In. Okay. Man, that's so rotted. Next thing, we're gonna have to get this off and make this, use this as a template for a new one for the hatch. Look how rotted that is.
Right.
The only thing holding that together right now is the tape.
It's the tape, yeah.
All right, that's the battle for another day. We'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we went ahead and got the fiberglass installed and laid down around the edges here. And all we're really trying to do with that is thicken up the structure around here. So when we put on our plywood window frame cutouts, it brings it in far enough that where it's going to be contacting the teak plywood panel. And it also gives the lens a thicker slot to sit in, because we're going to use a little bit thicker acrylic than what was on here before, just for extra strength, you know, in case a wave hits it while we're out at sea, stuff like that. So, but yeah, so we got that on. We got this installed here also and out of the way, so that's good. We have that one on as well. We need to paint that. We're going to trim all this to fit the cutout here, which is going to make a huge fiberglass mess. So here's the area that I was talking about where I filled in all the rotted area, and this is all now thickened epoxy in here. So anyways, it turned out really good. We got thickened epoxy over the top of the plywood. This has already been sealed with penetrating epoxy, so water's not going to get in there anyways, but just to be on the safe side, we'll take a couple extra steps. Yeah, this turned out really good, and now this is all rock solid, where before, if you look back in some of our previous shots of this area, this was all gone. There was nothing here at all, nothing backing this up. So now we have structure in there again, something for the screws to fasten into when we're attaching the trim, the teak trim panels and all that other stuff that's going to go on the outer. So yeah, and we did the same thing as well on this side here. This is all filled in, and this was all rotted before too, and now it's all nice and solid. We also have to trim this cutout. Once this is all trimmed up, then we're ready for the next step. So it's just slow progress at this point. All right, so what we're gonna try first is we're gonna try using the multi-tool here with this blade And we're just going to see if this will knock down some of the extra high stuff. If it works, we'll continue with it. If it doesn't, then we'll take the Dremel tool to it. Okay, we like that. That seems like that's working out okay. So I'm going to get my mask on and we're going to come right back and get going on this. And we're making a minimal mess. That's what's really nice about this, because I'm ready for the fiberglass dust to be everywhere. And doing it this way versus using the Dremel, if I do it with the Dremel, it's going to be everywhere. And yeah, we'll have a nicer edge at the end, but I just don't want the fiberglass dust everywhere. So you can see we trimmed it out pretty good. So we have some finish work to do, but man, that's a lot better than doing it the way we were gonna do it. And see, we didn't get that bad of a mess. Not too bad at all. Got some on my arm. I'll have to deal with that later because that stuff's going to be everywhere. But all right, we'll do the same thing to the next one here. All right, I used a little thicker fiberglass over here because this structure was a little thinner, so I wanted to thicken up just a little bit more, so I used a little bit heavier fiberglass. Man, this stuff's cutting a lot harder. See the smoke coming off of that? That's hot. Wow, and it already just toasted my... I already toasted this blade. Look at that. Gone. All that's gonna have to be sanded, so we'll just try to minimize it. Okay, so we went ahead, like we said earlier, we got the fiberglass around the edges on both window cutouts, and then I went ahead and trimmed the excess fiberglass out of the cutouts, same down there. And I leveled out the cutaways on the lower structure. Anyway, so what you can see here is this is all trimmed and evened out now. I had a little bit of excess wood up here in this area. And then we cut it and then filled it in with thickened epoxy. So we're in good shape. Did the same thing on this one here. And so you can see that we got good epoxy on these areas. It's not going to get wet. I went ahead and did a little repair here, even though I didn't need to because this is just secondary structure. Nobody will ever see it. But what I did, I just, there's a crack in here. So I filled the crack, forced in a bunch of thickened epoxy in there, and then I put a bunch of thickened epoxy on the outside, and then just threw some fiberglass cloth on there just to kind of hold things together. It's not a it's not a recommended approved repair, but it'll work. So we'll sand that. Once that sets up, we'll sand it smooth, and we're ready to install the cutout frames. So we got all these little tiny annoying steps out of the way, and we can start making some good progress again.
It's definitely not an attractive repair, but it's a lot better than what was there before.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and try and get this matched up to here. And the tricky part is I'm gonna have to get it up underneath in the slot up there. But at the same time, I have to try and get these cutouts to sit in their slots. I haven't done it like this before, but I'm gonna try and get those cutouts to sit in these slots because I had trouble locating them on the other side last time. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different this time. So I have them temporarily fastened to the teak plywood from the front side, and I'm going to try and get everything all in at once. If that works, then what I'll do is I'll temporarily fasten this into place, and then I'll run some screws in from the outside of the hull through here to the new plywood frames, and that should locate them if that works, because I know what I did last time didn't work out that well.
So you think it will work?
I don't know, we're gonna try it. I haven't tried it like this before, so let's see. Pretty sure that's gonna go in like that. I have my doubts, but we'll see. What? Hang on a second here. There's gotta be. It can't be that easy. I would have done it like this before. Okay, well, that's crazy. It's actually
Working.
seems like it's in, yeah. Huh. Okay, let's see if the holes line up here on this. Let's see if this hole lines up. Oh yeah, that's wild.
It is?
Yeah, let me see if I can get a screw on there.
Okay.
Hold this in place. This is crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Ta-da! Okay, that's cool. So, let's see if we get any other holes. If that one lines up, the rest of them should too. Okay, those are all filled in because I had to repair them all. So those ones won't be there. But that one's there. Huh? Okay, we'll try one down here at this end. If we're lucky, this hole lines up. Oh, there it is right there.
Okay, we're lucky then.
Yeah. Huh, pretty wild. Let's see if this one lines up. That's pretty cool. Huh. I'm pretty surprised actually that that even works. So I'll put a screw in here temporarily
To hold it.
to hold it in place. Okay, well, that's pretty crazy. I had been trying to think this through for so long, and I can't believe it went together like that.
Easy.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. All right, well, there you go.
Easy, huh?
Yeah, easier than I thought it would be.
So no struggle for tonight then?
No struggle tonight.
What would I get?
Spankings or something? I don't know. We'll figure something out. Maybe dinner. So yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Bye.
See ya. All right, so we went ahead and added this section on here just to kind of show you what they all look like installed. Look at that. These all fit really, really nice. Man, I didn't have to do any hand trimming or nothing on these. So anyways, this is where our new seam is going to be. We're going to have a piece of trim that hides this seam, and it'll match the same one on the other side of the boat. So just take a look here. See? It's going to be beautiful again after all. Yeah, it'll be just like it never ever happened. So, in fact, it'll be better than it was before, because now this is not rotted. We'll seal this on the backside with the penetrating epoxy, just like we did on the backside of this one, and that protects it from moisture. We're still going to put the high density foam insulation on the back of these panels, just to give a little bit more condensation resistance. Moisture is always a battle on the boat. Condensation between panels, headliners, you name it, floorboards, everywhere. Condensation will hang out wherever it gets a chance to. So anywhere we can eliminate that from happening, that's less moisture inside the boat, which will mean less chances of mold. Long ways to go, for sure.
We still have quite a bit of work to do before these panels can be mounted up here permanently. So our next step is to go ahead and mount the wood lens retainer frames. That's what we need to mount next.
Okay, the problem we're having here right now is trying to get this to fit in here like this. It's not fitting in as good as we had hoped. The piece back here is over hanging out just a little too much right here, so we need to trim that down all the way to flush with this. I think we're okay with this corner here, but mainly right here, I think we're all right there. Mainly here, and for some reason it needs that jaggedy cut to fit, so that's what we're doing. We're going to trim that out of there right here, and we'll get a better fit. All right, now this one here we actually fits in better. Maybe just needs a little bit of cleaning up, but this one almost fits. So we're just going to do a little trimming in the corner here on this one, and a little trimming right there on that corner, and we should be good after that. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to use a Dremel, and I'm just going to kind of try to trim it, and then baby's going to have the vacuum, and we're just going to try and cut this out, lower it down a little bit. And I don't know, maybe this isn't the right tool for it. We'll find out. If this doesn't do it, then we'll move to something a little more aggressive. Okay, go ahead, turn on the vacuum. Okay, so we'll do a little check fit, see how we're doing. See if we're getting any closer to fitting in there. Seems like it's getting better, but not quite. All right, we'll see if this helps convince it to go away a little bit faster. Whole thing moved. All right. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more fine tuning with the grinder here. Now this should just drop right in now. We should not have a problem fitting it. We took off more than enough, so this should just slide right in now. And it does. Okay, so that's what we were looking for. What we'll do is when we pull this panel off, we'll final mount this, locate it to the hull, make sure we're good, and once everything is good, I'll pull this off and hit it with the sander to kind of smooth it up a little bit. But we trimmed out all the excess in the corner radiuses here, and now this goes right in, which is good. That's what we want. I think we're good on this one here. Let's see what we need to do down here on this one. I think this one fits, but I'm not sure. Can't remember from last night. This one relatively. This one fits okay, but I think to remove any doubt, yep, I think we take this corner right here, and that one's probably okay. This corner and that corner right there, and I think we're good. So, well, I think you guys have seen enough of this. You know what we did over here, so we're gonna go ahead and stop filming, and we'll get this job done, and we'll come back and show once it's completed. All right, so we went ahead and trimmed all this. I know it's kind of jagged and ragged looking, but this is what makes it fit. Once later, we'll take this out and sand this a little bit smoother with the orbital sander. But right now, we just want to make sure this fits. Okay, so that's good. So we got that in. That's a nice fit now. So that's what we're looking for right there. And then we went ahead and did the same thing here off camera to do some grinding in the radiuses here. And this one up here, because that's where the overage was. So let's see if this fits. Hopefully any luck. It does. It seems like it's a little snug, but now it feels to me like it's not the window frame, it's actually the plywood, I think, right here. So that's fine. We can dress that up a little bit, but otherwise this fits good. We're not going to worry about any more of that trimming for right now. What we're going to do next is we'll pull this panel off, and then we're going to final locate these inside frames right here. We'll locate these to the hull, get all the holes located on that, pulled up nice and tight, pull everything back off, and then epoxy these frames to the hull. All right, so I know that seems kind of confusing, but it'll make sense once we start. All right, so we only have this temporary held in with a couple of screws, so this should come off pretty easy. And I don't run them in all the way just because I know I'm going to be taking this off and on a lot. This one I used actually a smaller diameter screw. What I don't want to do is I don't want to wear out those holes in the structure behind there because it's just wood. And so I'm trying to use smaller screws, or I'm not running in all the way with the full diameter screws, because I don't want to just keep using those threads over and over again, because eventually stuff will start to strip out. Okay, there's that was supposed to be located last night, but for some reason it came out, so maybe I didn't run the screws in all the way. No big, we can do that. We'll get this relocated, repositioned. Actually, that's the spot right there. We'll get that repositioned. Okay, so we have this one actually screwed up to the hull. We'll continue locating this one since it's already somewhat cooperating with us. And then we'll do the same thing over there. We'll get those located with basically, I don't know, like eight screws on each one holding it. And then we'll put everything back together, and we'll put a big thick layer of epoxy, thickened epoxy in there to hold this into place. Plus it'll seal it from any moisture getting in there as well. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna go on the outside and just locate the holes. Okay, so we're getting ready to do final locating of this inside window frame here. And we're gonna match it all up. And then we're gonna start putting holes in it and start locating it. So that'll be the permanent location. And then once we get it all located, we'll epoxy it into place. That'll be it. That'll be part of the boat then after that. So, wish us luck.
Just a warning in advance, I'm wearing the GoPro on my forehead for the first time. I was thinking I was going to get some really good first-person view footage, and unfortunately I had the camera pointed a little too high, so it was not focusing on my hands doing the work. So I'm sorry in advance for the horrible footage, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what it takes to locate this frame.
Okay, now Just always want to keep pressure on it as we're going down the line here. Nice and tight. Keep doing the same thing all the way through. Okay. So maybe you have a similar window design on your boat and it's got the same problems we're having. This will kind of give you an idea of some of the steps you have to go through to get everything back to good again. It takes a lot of time. It's not expensive. It's just time consuming and you have to have a lot of patience. Okay. So that's it. Now we're going to go inside. We'll clean this up a little bit and then we're going to mix up some thickened epoxy and we're going to put just a huge bead of thickened epoxy all the way around this.
So once again, we're really sorry about that horrible footage. I'm using the GoPro mounted on my forehead and we thought it would give a really interesting view. Unfortunately, I didn't think through clear enough to make sure that we were showing what our hands were doing, and so it was just a little too high to see everything that we were trying to show. But here you can see the lens retainer frame has all the holes located in it now, and we're getting ready to epoxy it into place. All right, here we go. This is going to be a messy part of the job right here. You can see we got the epoxy pretty thick, which is what we want. We want it like a thick peanut butter so it won't slump or sag, but it's going to drip no matter what we do, so we had to clean the area up below so that whatever it drips on, it doesn't ruin anything. But we're trying to take careful attention here to make sure that we coat really good around the edges. We want lots of squeeze out. That'll give us a nice watertight bond between the lens retainer frame that we're about to install.
That's all right. We're gonna use more. So I'm gonna get a big bead of it around here. Not as concerned on the top edge as I am at the bottom edge because the moisture is going to come in from the bottom mostly. Alright, so that turned out pretty good.
So you can see we laid on the thickened epoxy pretty heavy here on these wood retainer frames. But that's to keep them waterproof and sealed so that there's no leaks. We're going to do a better job of capturing this when we install the forward one. I still didn't have the GoPro focused.
Go ahead and see if this will. Alright, we've made enough of a mess. Long enough to get upstairs. Okay, so now what we want to do. We'll go ahead and tighten everything up later, but we want to get the squeeze out process started.
Okay, sorry about the poor camera work on that, but we finally have the large aft lens retainer frame located and bonded into place now. So we'll let that cure and that should be good to go. We might have to do a little bit of filling in here and there, but for the most part it's bonded and epoxied into place.
Okay, so we got this window frame actually epoxied and located into place, and it's curing right now. Baby's outside taping off the window again because I had to remove the tape. I had to remove the tape to get on the outside to fair in the epoxy. Anyway, so this is going to set up, and then so next time we come back it will be good to go for painting. And see, you can see the squeeze out here. I faired it in, and we're going to add a little more down here next time when we get back, just to fill in this little gap. But it's so hot right now that it's time to call it a day, so I need to fair that in also. But yeah, that's where we're at. And so Doesn't look like much, but man, it takes a long time to do this stuff. Welcome back to another episode of DIY Nautical Dream. JK. Okay, so where we're at today is our accomplishment goals were not quite met. We wanted to have both of these window frames epoxied in place and located. We just didn't get it. It's a little more complicated. It took a little bit more time than we had thought. But this one is located. It's epoxied in place. The epoxy on the outside is faired in. So that's cool. We'll come back next time and fair in some epoxy around here, fill in the voids down here and around here as well. And then we'll finish this edge up here a little bit better so it's a little bit more smoothed out. And then we'll put more penetrating epoxy back on all the surfaces that we bared by sanding or trimming or cutting off some of that excess wood that was in the corners here and here. So I feel like we have a pretty good fit here on this one now. When we go to put everything back together, I don't think we're gonna have to do much trimming. So if we can get everything epoxied in, faired in nice next time, we should be able to paint this and do the rest of the paint around here as well. That'll be good. Next thing we'll do is epoxy this into place. We'll final locate it and then we'll epoxy it into place. So then once these are both epoxied into place and painted and sealed and all that stuff, then we can put this panel back on, and then we can put these cutout frames back in, and we're moving on. Then we'll move on to the underside here, which will really get bogged down on that. There's a lot of work that has to happen under here, a lot of fiberglass and a lot of processes that we got to do. There's a lot of damaged rotted wood under here that we have to repair. Our goal was to get these in, both of these epoxied in. We didn't quite make that goal, but we got one in anyway, so we're halfway there. 50%, not too bad. Anyways, so that's where we're at, and sorry it wasn't more action packed. Not bad. All in all, we're moving forward, and that's what matters, one step at a time. So don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below. Thanks. All right, so we can see the new plywood window frame that we have epoxied in place, right? And then we can see the teak trim that fits in the cutout on the teak panel that's on the inside of the boat. And you can see how that interfaces with the plywood cutout. It looks like everything fits together pretty good. And then we'll put our new lens will go in there up against all that, and you won't see any of that stuff. So it all looks like it's working out pretty good on this one. So we still have to do the same thing up front on that cutout there, and that's what we're going to start on next. All right, we'll go ahead and get this set up. Let's see if we got, this is how I can check. I think we're good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start locating a couple of these holes in the plywood frame that's on the inside. And so all we're doing right now is locating the holes. There's a plywood frame on the inside there, and we're just locating the holes. It's gonna be very similar as to what we did right here on this one. We just want to get all the holes located, and then we can start to epoxy this in place. So nothing too exciting, but just want to kind of show you the process of what we're doing here. I can already tell that's getting them in there nice and tight, so that's a good thing. And all we're doing is trying to get the holes located, because once everything has epoxy on it, it's going to be a big mess, and we don't want to try and line everything up then. So we'll just keep doing that. Here, there. Then, well, that one's already located. Both these are already located, and then that one there, and I think there's another one there. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and put the rest of the screws in now. All right, so we got it all pretty well located into place, so I think that's where we'll stop for now. And then we'll get ready to, we'll check the location, everything one more time inside, make sure everything's all nice and tight. Plywood should be against the hole here, the structure. If that is the case, then we can remove everything, do a little bit of prep work, and get ready to start epoxying that thing into place. Okay, so I'm just checking to make sure the camera is filming everything, and it is. Because I don't want to go ahead and do all this footage and then not everything shows up that I'm trying to show everybody. But yeah, so we got it all located. We'll go ahead and check inside. If everything's good, we'll pull this tape off and get ready to start epoxying. Okay, so now we're just checking to make sure that it's all nice and tight. I had this in here to hold it in place, and it seems like it's done its job. So yeah, it's all nice and tight along here, so that's good. I'd say this is located, so we're good with that. All right, cool. Now what we'll do is go ahead and pull this off and start prepping everything for the epoxy application and making that big mess that we're getting ready to have fun doing. We did the same thing here. Let me see if I can get a flashlight. So yeah, all that, we epoxied that into place. It was a big mess. We still need to fill these gaps in here with epoxy, which we'll do that. And same thing here and all along there. What we want to do is make sure that if any moisture gets in here, that it does not ever get past there. So, and we've had good luck with that on the other side, so we're going to do the same thing. We'll just repeat the process and do it better. So yeah, that's all part of the same structure now. All right, so we'll go ahead and take these screws out. So we have all the holes located now, and we checked on the inside and everything is holding nicely. It pulled up nice and tight against the structure like we wanted. So what we're going to do now is take this off and get everything ready for thickened epoxy. We'll bond it to the side of the hull, well, to the inside of the cabin top, because the next step's going to be really messy, so I'm going to be ready for that. All right, we'll go ahead and head back inside, and we'll get the frame ready for thickened epoxy. All right, here we are back inside, and I'm surprised this didn't fall, but that's good. I'm glad it didn't. We'll take it down and we'll prepare it to add the thickened epoxy on here, and we will start putting it together. We're good on this, so we'll get everything ready for the epoxy mess. We're gonna go ahead and wipe the surface down with acetone just to kind of remove any imperfections or impurities that are on there. This isn't something that's any kind of a science to it. We just want to get rid of anything that's gonna get in the way of a good bond. Okay, that's good enough. Nothing to get too excited about. One of the next things we'll do is we'll take this tape off, because we're going to need to be able to get on the other side to fair in that epoxy once we start making the mess. Let's do 4. And we're going to mix it up nice and thick. We want it to be more of a filler than a bonder, so thicker is better, because we want to fill up all the gaps and imperfections of the wood frame around the structure. So and then maybe we'll go 5 pumps. So seemed like last time we needed a little bit extra and had to mix them in a hurry, so maybe I'll go a couple more. I'll do 2 more pumps. Okay, so that's a total of 6. And we'll have to put a little bit more thickener in there. Okay, we'll try that. Once I put the hardener in there, it'll thin this up a little bit. Okay, we'll put 6 pumps of hardener in there. There's 6. And this is a slow hardener, so it gives us a little bit more working time. But the problem is with it in this cup like this, it's condensed together. It's more, you know, contained, and so it'll kick faster in a smaller container than it will in a larger spread out area. So we don't want to mess around with this. We want to get it mixed and applied spread out quickly, because otherwise it'll start to kick off in this cup faster than it would normally if it's applied and being used to the structure. So what we'll do is we'll add one more scoop of thickener microfibers. Okay, we'll check this out. Yeah, see, that's thickening it pretty good. That's kind of how we want it. We don't want it to slump or drip or sag or anything like that. We just want it to fill and bond if possible, but for sure we want it to fill and prevent any moisture from getting between the structure and the plywood window frame. Okay, we'll go ahead and start getting it right here. The goal is to get it on here as thick as we can, so we can get some nice squeeze out around the edges once we start running the screws down. I'll even it out a little bit better once we get it on here. It's a good thing we put a couple extra pumps in there, because we're getting low. Okay, here's where it gets messy. This is the part that I don't really look forward to, because it's going to make a mess. And in fact, we need to do a little timeout, because we don't want to, the very last thing we want to do is get epoxy on this. So, okay, get that out of the way, because it's going to drip, it's going to make a mess. And if we don't, we'll just use these on something else later. So, all right. I keep thinking I put it on the wrong side, but I didn't. It's just because I'm used to the other frame. All right, that gives us a little bit of time to go outside and locate. Oh man, we need paper towels for outside. Gotta locate the first hole. And so all we want to do here is get the screw started. Nothing much, nothing too exciting yet, because we don't want to have it mislocated. We'd rather just have the screws slightly started. Okay, one's in. Okay. Two's in. Not too tight. Not too tight yet. We'll go around and clamp these after this. Make sure everything's tighter up against the structure. Let's go up here. Grab a couple of these. I want to make sure we're going good at the top as well. We're not really running against the clock right now because the epoxy spread out. Mostly when it's in the cup is when we have to worry about it kicking off so soon. We got a problem here. I gotta get my cup and my epoxy stick ready to have some droops. Okay. Okay. Okay, what else do we need? Where's the clamps? Grab a couple clamps. And let's go back. That's what happens when we get in a hurry. We forget things. All right. Back to where we gotta hurry though, because we don't want to waste time. So far, everything's lining up really good. See, we're getting a little more squeeze out of that now, which that's what we want. We just want to know that we got it up against the structure good, close as we can. In the areas where we need to fill some gaps, and we'll have plenty of, we're gonna have plenty of epoxy left over to fill in there. That pulled in, I saw it. So what we want to do now, we just want to leave everything tight, and we're going to start fairing in all this extra epoxy. Great, it's starting to rain, so we're going to have to hurry. Not so much worried about the top side as I am the bottom, because we're obviously planning to have more moisture on the bottom side of the window than the top side. If we got more at the top side, then we're probably having a bad day, because that'll mean we're upside down. I always get nervous when I'm spreading this stuff because I know I'm on the clock. We just want to get all those gaps filled in. Which that's good, looks like we did. So now we do this. It's kind of just helping to force it down in there. Combination of fillet seal and a face seal. All right, not pretty, but now we just need to make sure we get rid of all those, because those are the ones that require lots of extra sanding. Seems like it's continuing to squeeze out too, so we're getting a little bit each time we do a sweep by. Okay, that's it. We'll go inside and see what kind of a mess we have going on in there. Do you want to tape it?
Yeah.
Please, baby. All right, so all we're doing right now is I'm just fairing in the excess squeeze out that's on the inside and just forcing it into all the seams. This just adds more protection against moisture, because that's going to be the constant battle around these windows. All kinds of condensation and all that good stuff. So we got it all paired in right there. Seems like we had a little bit of squeeze out, but not bad. All right, so make sure we don't have any high spots, because then our teak panel won't sit down very well. Okay, so I think we're good. I don't feel any high spots, so we've got good epoxy in there, because this is going to be one of the chronic wet spots. And then we need to still do that here. See that we don't have it filled in here, but the epoxy that I have here is beginning to lose its working time. So we're gonna wrap this part up right here. And now we have a new clear tape window to look through. And then maybe later this evening, we'll probably after dinner, we'll fill that in. And that way it all has a chance to set up overnight. So we're ready for the next step tomorrow. Okay, we're just gonna try and sand this smooth a little bit. All the rough cuts we did. Maybe I need to get the block sander in there to take down the smaller stuff. We'll do the same thing here, just rough edges. Yeah, I think we'll get the block sander and hit the rest of it. It's pretty much where we want it to be. It's not going to be visible or anything like that. I just want to take the rough edges down because when we add the penetrating epoxy on here, we just want it to get in and seal all the areas best we can, and there won't be any opportunities for moisture to get up underneath a shaving or a piece of a rough spot or something like that. So I just want to hit it with some sandpaper real quick and just kind of get these sanded a little bit smoother. I just always want to try to do the right thing, take the time to do it right, so we don't have to come back and mess with it later. I want to get all the sharp edges off from the epoxy that we had on there from the night before, because our windows are going to sit on that. Feels pretty good, except for right there. Okay, that's good to go. Seems like it's good. Not sure about right there, but I might have to hit that with the Dremel tool real quick. Oh man. I guess it helps if it's plugged in. Okay. There we go. That's all we needed there. All right, so I think we're in good shape. I think next thing we'll do is we'll make up some penetrating epoxy, mix that up, and get that all coated on here. Let that get into the edge here. And I don't care if it gets a little bit down here. Okay, we'll stir this until it starts to become clear. See how it's cloudy right now? It'll clear up. So we'll stir it for roughly about a minute. See, it's already getting more transparent. Alright, so it's pretty transparent now. So it's ready to go. Okay, it's very clear. It's pretty good about penetrating into the grain. I'm going to turn on the light. Hopefully that'll help. I want to coat it on here relatively thick and heavy because we want it to do its job. We want it to get down into the grain of the wood. Because that's its whole purpose, is to seal this up nice and watertight. And this lower edge is where it's going to need it the most, because this is where the moisture is going to get in here the easiest. So it's soaking in, which is good. That's what we want. And then we'll go along this edge here a little bit. Although we've already treated that, we're just doing a little bit double coverage. Same thing here. That's about as good as it's going to get for that one. Okay, we'll do the same thing here on the second frame. This is the one we installed last night. And like I said, we just want it to penetrate the grain of the plywood here, the edges, and make it so the water has a really hard time, water, moisture, condensation, whatever it is, we want to make sure it has a really hard time getting in there, because we don't want this to rot. If they would have done that on the original build of this boat, we wouldn't be doing this job right now. All right, I think we have just about saturated all we can do. All right, I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. So we'll just let that kick off in the cup. Okay. We have done coated with penetrating epoxy, so. All right, so we just finished epoxying this in place. This is our second window frame, and you can see all the extra epoxy is faired in, and we did like a fay bond and fillet seal all the way around the edge. So this is to ensure we don't get any water coming in through here, because the windows will leak from time to time, or they'll build up condensation, all that sort of thing, and we just don't want any any rotting of the plywood, because it's not going to do it any good. We've already been down that road. So anyways, so that one's in, and this one we got in. So the next step will be to squeeze a bunch of epoxy in here, force it in here, and then so we have a good gap, so the gap's all filled, and we'll do that later. Let all that cure. Yeah, it looks like we have a little bit right down here we need to get in there. And then, yeah, once it all cures up, we'll be ready for the next step. So that's good. We got 2 more frames in, and those are the last 2 we're gonna have to worry about anytime soon. Okay, so we have these all epoxied in now, and you can see the gaps are all filled in with thickened epoxy. So we don't have to worry about water getting in and rotting behind the panels or anything like that. And so you can see up here we got all that thickened epoxy fared in really nicely before it cured up. And then we did the same thing over here as well. So yeah, these are in. These are not going anywhere. And we did the same thing down here and fared in that lower gap that I was showing you before. And now that's filled in with thickened epoxy. And there's that little repair area we did right here. And we're going to sand that smooth and flush. And then we'll be ready to paint everything and start working on the exterior side of these window frames and making sure that they're weatherproofed as well. So yeah, we've come a long ways. We still have quite a bit of processes to go, but yeah, it's getting there. Looking really good. Hopefully by the end of today we'll have this all painted up and moving on to the next steps. Takes a long ways, a lot of steps to get to this point, but we're making good progress now. Okay, so we went ahead and got the newly installed frames painted. Looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but nobody will ever see them anyways. Most people probably wouldn't have painted them. We just did it as an extra layer of protection. And anywhere when we're on the boat working somewhere and I see bare fiberglass like what was here, I just want to paint it. I think that if later we're doing any kind of work and we have to remove these panels for anything, it will give us an indication of where maybe if there was any water running behind there or anything, it's going to leave a streak or some kind of a stain or something, and we'll be able to see it. Next thing we'll do is once this sets up, we're going to cut out some foam, some high density foam insulation, and we're going to cut it to shapes to fit back here. And we'll do the same thing in between here and the little piece up there. Yeah, and the reason why that is because we're just trying to eliminate any areas where there might be any kind of condensation forming, and any outside facing section of the hull or cabin top like this that doesn't have any kind of coring or anything like that. Believe me, in the wintertime, if you kind of have any heat differential where it's warm inside and cold outside, this is going to get condensation on it. We've already seen it happening. So anywhere we can insulate it and stop that, it's one less source of moisture inside the boat that we can prevent. I'll get the foam cut out and we'll start working from there. Also, this is that section that we repaired before. Well, we took care of that and sanded it down a little bit today before we painted it, and yeah, it's nice and solid now. Nobody will ever see it, but at least we know that it's joined back together and it's structurally sound. Alright, so we're going to get ready to cut out a new window. Well, we'll call it a new lens for one of the large windows on the boat up front. But first, we got to get our new jigsaw ready. And this is something my wife got me. We're going to go ahead and check this out, and we'll get it set up. Haven't used it yet, but look, it comes in this nice little case, so that's kind of cool. And then look inside here. Look at everything we have with it. What more? Oh, that's nice. What more could a guy want? Is that nice or what? Well, that should make cutting a lot easier, a lot nicer than what we've been doing before. Cool little blade holder like that. Well, we're cutting acrylic, so we got to be careful. We can't just use anything. So let's go with the little bit finer cut, because acrylic is kind of tricky. Hope you don't mind the workshop. This is the back aft cabin of our boat here. So yeah, we still got a lot of work to do back here, but we have done some work. But we kind of stopped for now because we want to get the main living space in good condition first, and then we'll come back here and pick up where we left off. That's nice, lots of blades, so we got plenty of those to work with for a while. Two-sided. Pretty wild. Well, this is neat. Okay, let's figure it out. Which blade did we want? That's really nice. Comes with lots of blades. Clean cut. Medium. Fast and clean. I think we're going to go on the safe side and we're going to go with clean cut. Because if we go fast and clean, maybe on wood that's good, but acrylic we just got to be careful. Have to be careful on acrylic. Okay, so that's that. And then we'll put this on. And let's see. Very nice. Looks like we're in business now. Alright, so we got that. One of the other things we already did was we traced around the outside of the lens we wanted to cut. We're not going to cut to the line, we're just going to be close to it. And then we'll use a flush trim router bit to get us to the exact shape we're looking for. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. One of the keys to getting a good cut is making sure our material is securely fastened. We do not want it to move. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the old lens off, cut our line, then come back with the new lens on later, flush trim bit, all that stuff. I want to make sure the product is not going to move when we start sawing on it, things like that. And we might have the wrong bit on there. We're just not going to know until we start cutting, so here we go. This definitely cuts nicer than the other one for sure. I just had to be careful because I'm so used to using the old one that I think I can't make the turns, and it actually makes them, so that's cool. I'd say I like it. I like it a lot. It's just a little, takes a little getting used to, so. We got a little close to our line a couple times, but that's okay. Didn't cross it, so did not cross the line. Alright, so that's that. Fantastic tool. I like it. It works really good. So we're happy with this. Thank you, baby. Oh, see? It's very sweet. Okay, we're going to get the router set up. Okay, since I forgot the wrench at home that I need to get the old bit out of the router and to get the old standby tool set out. And we have the perfect fit. For those of you scoring at home, it's 17 millimeters, in case you're wondering. Alright, so we got that adjusted. Now we'll go ahead and set our depth. We're just going to, again, guesstimate it for right now. Okay, we got to close everything up because now we're going to make a mess. We want to clamp this down tight. We do not want it to move at this stage. We got close down here, but never crossing the line, so that's a good thing. I'm going to clamp it down to where we have enough clearance the router bit won't hit the wood below it. That's our table. All right, I think we're pretty well secured. Wow. What a mess. Oh no, we're not done yet. Don't worry, we got more. Got this end here to do still. And that corner right there. Figure out this corner real quick. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we have. We already know we have a mess. Whoops. We don't want to do that. That's our table. Okay. So what we want is flush. Okay, so we're good. We're good. All right, so we got what we wanted. Okay, so we have a new window. All right, there you go. That's it. That's how we make them. All right, so we just got done using the router and we made another large window lens for the forward main window in the cabin where we've been working on the window frames and all that. So this is a new one we made. It's a little bit thicker and it's tinted, so those are two good features we're adding to these windows. Anyways, just thought we'd show you what we got going on here. We made a huge mess in the aft cabin, but that's okay. That's what it's all about. It'll clean up. We just pretty much made it snow back here.
All right, so that was a good progress, honey, huh?
Yeah, we made some progress there. That was a lot of work in a short period of time, but we're getting there. We're getting pretty good at this. I think we've gotten past the learning curve on some of these. It helps when we've already done it before on the opposite side of the boat. It's still a challenge nonetheless. We had a little trouble getting those large wood lens retainer frames located and in place. I thought it would be easier attaching them to the long teak panel, but that didn't prove to be efficient at all, and we ended up having to do it basically the same old school way we did it over on the left side of the boat as well. So, but we gave it a try, and anyways, we got them located. That's half the battle, and now just getting them all, making sure they're all epoxied in place. No water is going to get into them and rot them, that kind of thing. So it's a high moisture environment there. We got that fiberglass trimmed as well, the excess fiberglass around the cutouts. And so that's always a mess, but that fiberglass goes everywhere. So
yeah, so overall it was a really good progress.
Yep, I think it was too. So we're happy with the results we're getting over here. It's looking good, and I think it's a pretty good install. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of steps. It's you know, you got to be in it for the long game because it takes a lot of steps, a lot of processes. You don't get that instant gratification. It takes a long time before it starts showing like it's looking like we're putting something together again.
All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Please watch it from the very beginning all the way to the end.
Yeah, a couple times. So if we ever get monetized, that's how we'll earn money, is by watch hours. So let it play all the way through. We really appreciate that.
If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Right down there. Ding, ding, ding. All right, we really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've been watching for a while and you kind of like us, then please subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Hit that little button.
Yeah.
Hit that little button, Tom's, whatever.
Hit that thing for us. We really appreciate it. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as our primary goal, and we're getting there. We've had a little bit. Yeah, we've had a little bit of growth lately, so we really appreciate that. And thank you to everybody that's been a long-time subscriber. And if you're a paid member as well, we really appreciate that. And just thank you for everything you guys have done to support us along the way. We really appreciate it.
Yep, we will keep doing what we're doing.
Yep, that's right.
All right, so stay tuned, guys. See you.
See ya. Dang, if I only hit record. Man.
I think you did.
Okay. So yeah, we just really want to say thanks to all of our longtime subscribers. And oh man.
Did you record
it? Man, I thought you were going to push the button this time. Is it on? Can you see the red light?
I did it. I think I did.
Oh, okay. Man, that was a lot of footage to shoot without hitting the button. Man, how's that?
Are you gonna put that down? Ooh. I miss it.
Is it cutting?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, dang. I think I forgot to hit record.
Like always.
Oh, man. Is it recording?
No. I think you did. Or maybe not.
Yeah, so if you haven't subscribed yet, oh, man. Dang it. I don't think did I hit it? Can you see the...
No, you didn't.
Man.
Oh, you did.
Is it?
No, we have to redo it.
Oh, man.
Yep.
These GoPros, man.
Yep.
All right.
Time for a new one. Hi, guys. Oh. Hi, guys. Welcome back to our new position. Hi, guys. Did we record it?
Hang on, not yet.